Hi everyone, it's Heidi from flutterbyheidi.wordpress.com, back again with another Sunday scoring project, and this time it's a slider card, but one with a difference. First of all, it's landscape orientation, but it's also a gift card holder. So the idea is that obviously this is the right orientation to hold a gift card, and as you slide it, you can see it slides out and pops up as well. So you can either write your sentiment on the inside here, or obviously you could write it on the back, or you could put a panel on the back there if you wanted to. So that's our project, and it's using one of the new Celebration stamp sets. Celebration, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, is a promotion that Stampin' Up do. It happens once a year, just for 3 months, and it means for every £45 that's GBP, that you spend, you can choose a free item, and this is one of them, which is a stamp set. Now obviously, you know, stamp sets aren't cheap, so for £45 you get all your lovely goodies and your choice, and this is one of them in this year's offer, and it's great. It's actually got little pancakes and burgers and ice creams and tacos, so you can literally customise it with whatever you like. And I thought the sentiment was such fun. It says, a little wish that's fun to make, happy birthday, now where's the cake? So yeah, just a bit of fun. So fairly straightforward to make this one. To start off with, you're going to need a piece of card, which I've got here, and your base card is 14.5 by 21 centimetres. I will put the dimensions in inches on my blog, but it's 8 1/4 by 5 3/4. Score it in half, and you'll see I've already made a start with the next stage, which is to put 2 strips. I've actually used the very fine red tape, and there is a reason for that. 1, because it's a bit of dimension, and 2, because it saves having to have it too wide to get your slider part in. The next step is to create the slider mechanism, and for that you're going to need the classic punch, and just pop it in and line it up with that top edge and punch. Do the same at the bottom edge, so lining up here, and you're creating a channel. Turn it round and do exactly the same. So pop it in, line up on that edge, and then do the same with the bottom edge. Slide it up. And I've just pushed it in as far as it will go, and that will create your 2 channels that you're going to use for your slider. So what happens is you have the piece of card in here with some dimensionals, and which you attach your card holder to. So as you pull it up, the dimensionals pull the card holder up as well. So we're just going to put some decoration onto this piece of card. I've just got 2 narrow 1 centimetre strips of designer series paper from the Cupcakes and Carousels range, and I just thought it just added to it, and it doesn't matter if they're a little bit long, because it's much easier to trim those down afterwards. And you can see I've just literally eyeballed those. So just come in with your paper snips like so, and then you can corner round, and then we're ready for you to stamp your sentiment on that. And I've used the Bermuda Bay ink for that. So I've just got one of our really useful little blocks, and I've used the wrong sentiment, which I will find in a moment. I was about to do the outer sentiment instead. Yeah. So there it is, just this little stamp here. Okay. Okay, so happy birthday, and where's the cake? And then I'm just going to stamp the little bunting in the corners. And I'm using Memento ink here, that's so that when it dries it's water resistant, so you can just colour in, use the markers. And there's a lovely set of markers, just 2 markers that you can use for this set. and that's really nice because, I mean, you know, not everybody wants to buy the whole set, but it's a good way of trying out sort of colours to see if you like them for real. And all I've just done is use the same ink there as I've used for my stamping. So if you hadn't got the ink pad, you could just use the marker to colour your stamp and stamp with it as well. So that's going to make our slider. I'm just going to pop it in there like so. Next we need to make our gift card holder. So that's a piece of cardstock which is 10.5 by 8 inches, which I've scored at 2 centimetres on the short edge. Again, another couple of bits of the fine tape, and then burnish that well. You want to make sure that doesn't disappear. I've used a slightly different colour this time, so this is going to sit on here. And what I did was, when I worked out how far I was going to pull it out, okay, I just literally very lightly put the dimensionals on the bottom there. So all you do is take a couple of dimensionals and they just fit sideways on in those slots. So centre your card. In fact, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit to make life easier for you to see. So centre your card, pop it there, and then pop your dimensional just towards the bottom section and do the same again. And you see how they just line up there. So when you pull, those will track up. So when you have your gift card holder, just line it up like so, and that will then slide down. So that's what it should look like, preferably square, which it will be if I take the stickiness off there. And that's your gift card holder section. So now you've made your mechanism. One thing I haven't done is punch the hole. So that's just using 3/4 inch punch. So I'll just quickly eyeball that about halfway and just cut a notch out in the top. And what I'm going to do is just mark the edges there. So what I've done is I've just marked, because I forgot to punch it before I created the mechanism, so I'm just going to come in and that way it should line up. Okay, so I made that mistake. Make sure we're nice and square, remove your red tape and fold your card up. The next stage is to create the panel for the front. So I've done that here, and the dimensions for the front layer is 13.5 by 9.5 of the So Saffron, and then I've got 13.3 by 9.3 of the Early Espresso, and then 13 by 9 centimetres of the Designer Series paper. And I've done that today just to get a really narrow border. Those of you who've watched my videos before will know that usually I put a ½ centimetre border, which is nice, but just occasionally you just want a tiny little bit to show, which you can do with millimetres quite easily. So having done that, you put 4 dimensionals, 1 in each corner, and then layer up like so. Okay, so that becomes the cover for your slider. Then we've got 2 pieces of card which we're going to use now for our front decoration. So this is this section here, and again I'm going to use the Memento ink, and I'm using the Tasty Trucks, and I'm going to stamp on a piece of Whisper White which is 11 by 7 centimetres. And because we're using a photopolymer stamp and we want to get a nice image, I'm just going to use it on my Stampin' Pierce mat, which hopefully you can see there. And just get a nice Here you go, it gives a nice crisp impression. And then all I'm going to do is use the same Memento black ink to stamp some of the other little embellishments around. So we're going to have some flags across here, and then we can colour those in. And you'll see on the other version, I'm not going to do all of the colouring, but I've got some little flags down here as well. And so all I've done is I've just come in with this and coloured very, very simply with the colours I happen to have to hand, which match the DSP. Now the nice thing about these is they've got a brush marker on the end there, so you can just come in. And to add a bit of dimension, what you can do is use some of the fine tip glue, and that actually creates a great glass effect. So for these windows here at the front of the van, you can just pop some of the glue in there. So just come in here. I seem to have misplaced I did use a soft sky marker on my original, which I seem to have misplaced. And actually colouring, I think, on camera is actually worse than stamping, because this is not going at all well compared with usual, but hey, there we go. So I'm going to come in, and on this time I'm going to use and you can come in afterwards and add your shading, or with my shadow box card one, you could stamp onto DSP and then cut that out if you wanted to. And you can make these vans as funky as you like. Just going to come in with a bit of basic black for the wheels, which I've totally rubbish there. This is why I usually have these things pre-done, as you can tell. It's not good to do them. So you will decorate it as you want. Layer that onto another piece of cardstock, say early espresso that I've used here. And then all that remains is for you to attach that panel to the front of your card, which we would do like so, again using dimensionals just to lift it up a bit. And to finish it off, what I suggest is that you get just a scrap of your early espresso, and using the same punch that we did before, which is this 3/4 inch punch, I'm just going to punch a couple of circles out, and with the card lined up and in place, I'm going to use a little bit of glue. Just use a touch of wet glue on here, and just add that like so. Flip it over, do the same on the other side with your second one. And I do find that easier and gives a better finish than trying to fold it in half and get one. And then all I do is just snip through those layers. So there you go, a Tasty Trucks gift card holder ready for you to add your gift card in and give it to someone as a gift. I hope you've enjoyed that. It was perhaps a bit fuddled. I'll tell you why on my blog post. Bye for now and enjoy the project.